Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of I Love Being Sober. My name is Tim Westbrook. I'm the CEO and founder of Camelback Recovery here in the always sunny and always sober Scottsdale, Arizona, where my team and I, over the course of many years, have helped thousands of people on their path to recovery. Visit camelbackrecovery.com to learn more about our treatment strategies for alcoholism, drug addiction, or mental illness. And we even offer recovery coaching so that you can enjoy the freedom and happiness you've always searched for. Today, I'm here with Tracy Duhs. Tracy believes that optimal health is a fundamental right for all humanity, not just a privilege for a select few. Tracy helps people activate their vitality and feel alive by educating on basic health foundations that most people do not know. Growing up in a missionary home cultivated her profound sense of compassion and her desire to educate on simple foundations that need to look and feel our best. By the time she was 15, Tracy had already begun her undergraduate education in medicine. Today, Tracy works as a modern wellness advocate specializing in the restorative powers of intelligent hydration. She has parlayed her wealth of experience and knowledge into a multi-dimensional career in wellness advocacy and education, starting with her podcast, Hydrate. Tracy frequently consults large corporations and hotels to help build and facilitate wellness experiences. She also serves as the director of the International Brain Summit. Tracy is the founder of the Sanctuary Wellness Experience in San Diego and co-founder of Hydrate at the Sanctuary. Tracy, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, Tim. It's going to be a very juicy conversation.
Yes, this is awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. And when we first met at the Genius Network annual event, like in the first conversation, we started talking about Quinton Hypertonic. And most people don't know about Quinton Hypertonic, but you obviously know very well. You know a lot about Quinton Hypertonic. So I'm going to ask you questions about that as well. But we're going to dig into water because there are lots of misconceptions of water. People think that they can just drink a lot of water and be hydrated, which is not the case.
This is true. That how much water we drink, the volume of water is just a small fraction of the whole picture of hydration.
So before we move on, what gives you the right to claim you are an expert on hydration and health?
Well, first of all, I think to claim you're an expert, you need to be doing something for, 50, 60, 70 years. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that word. I don't like to say I'm an expert. I've devoted my life to learning about this and understanding it. And in everything I do, I really want to be helping upgrade people's lives and educate them. And I started my undergraduate degree in pre-med, so I have a understanding of the body through the biological processes and the chemistry and all of those things. I've owned a wellness clinic for 16 years where it's a functional medicine clinic. So we've seen patients and I've gotten to see a whole gamut of how people respond to different herbs and medicine. I went to herbal school for 3 years, got my Ph.D, and I've been, studying this for a long time. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. And through my research and understanding of the body, that's when I had this realization and this light bulb went off that, oh my gosh, we're about 99% water molecules, but in molecular level, we are about 99% water molecules. And if we're that much water, why are we not a puddle of water on the floor, first of all? Right. And why are we not talking more about how this water structures itself and connects and the coherency of the water and how this water works, how the body of water that we are is performing? And so I decided that there's so much more, so much opportunity to uncover here, and I want to really devote my life to understanding and researching it.
And I guess what specific incident inspired you to be so passionate about water? And when was it?
Well, the thing is, in life, I feel like there's many crucible moments that we have. So it wasn't just one defining moment, but there was a couple. When I was pregnant for my first daughter, Grace, I was really thirsty. I went through this period where I couldn't drink enough water. I would be drinking. I could drink up to a gallon of water a day and it still wouldn't quench my thirst. My eyes were dry, my mouth was dry. Every part of my body felt dry. My joints, everything was just not lubricated. And my mouth, I would wake up and it just felt like my tongue was stuck to the roof of my mouth when I'd wake up in the morning. And I'm a young 20, early 20s, making my kale juices, my green juices every day, working out, eating a healthy, balanced diet. And I couldn't understand why I was so dehydrated. And it was really frustrating because I went to a series of doctors, functional medicine doctors, herbalists, allopathic medicine doctors, you name it, had a gamut of tests, blood tests, urine tests. They couldn't figure out what was happening. And then I started to realize, okay, I have to be an advocate for my own health because I keep hitting this wall where I'm not getting the answers I need. And so one day I started to notice that when I would drink the water at home, my reverse osmosis filtered water, I felt more thirsty after I would drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I would get the bottled spring water, it quenched my thirst for longer. So that was this aha moment where it was like, there's water isn't just water.
Yeah. Okay.
H2O isn't just H2O
Yeah.
like we've been taught. There's more to the story. There has to be more to the story. And I want to know what this is because it's not just about how much water I consume. We were told as kids, or at least I know I was, drink 8 glasses of water a day, get your H2O in, make sure it's filtered so that it's chemically clean. And that's pretty much all that matters. As long as the chemistry is clean, we good.
Yeah.
Well, that's not completely true.
Well, that's really good awareness on your part. I mean, I can't say that I've ever noticed that I'm more thirsty when I drink one kind of water versus another kind of water.
Well, when you're desperate and your body's that dehydrated, any amount of increase in hydration level is going to be very significant. When you're at that deficit, the delta was huge. So I definitely noticed it. And maybe I had to go through that to get to where I am. I mean, a lot of the struggles we have in life, they happen so that we become who we are. And then it's an opportunity.
Yeah. Things happen for you, not to you.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you get to talk about health and hydration now, and you went through your own struggles, which it sounds like it was kind of a big deal, a much bigger deal than I can say I've ever experienced. Now, when a lot of times I put electrolytes in my water. I mean, is that, if you had put Noon in your reverse osmosis water, would that have done the trick?
I don't want to make it that simple because it's not that simple, but
Okay.
yes, minerals are helpful. Okay. Electrolytes are minerals in a liquid solution.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put minerals in water, that's an electrolyte. And we need these electrolytes because water is the conduit for the electrical system in our body, for all these processes to take place and for our cells to communicate. We need water. And also, if we just have this hungry, unstructured water that's lacking in minerals, then our cells are going to be dehydrated because we don't have that osmotic balance between the intracellular and extracellular fluid. So I'm sure you've noticed, like, you have too much salt, you go to the sushi restaurant and you wake up and your face is puffy. Well, that's because there's a lot of fluid outside of the cells. In your extracellular fluid, the extracellular matrix, there's not enough hydration inside the cells, and that's why you'll wake up and you're like thirsty and you know that you need water, but it looks like you have more water, and that doesn't make sense, right? Because it's like,
Right.
if I have more water, why would I want to drink more water because I look puffy? Well, it's because the water isn't balanced. It's not balanced between your inside your cells and outside of your cells. And so minerals can help with that. If the right balanced set of minerals can help with that osmotic flow of water getting in and out of the cell. And also the cells, they want to take in nutrition and let out toxins. That's what they should be doing. There should be this osmotic flow. But sometimes they can get locked when you get really toxic and dehydrated. the nutrition isn't able to flow in and the toxins aren't able to flow out. And some functional medicine doctors will call that like a left spin, where you're locked in this left spin and your cells aren't able to efficiently get in nutrition and get out toxins. So you could be taking all the vitamins you want, all the best supplements, all the things, but if you don't have that good osmotic flow and that mineral balance and that hydration, they're not going to be working for you because you can't detox and you can't let nutrition in. So your cells, it's just going to be basically like floating around in your extracellular fluid, but it's not going to be getting into the cell.
So is that speaking to like absorption? For example, magnesium. I'm taking magnesium, and do the minerals need to be balanced correctly in order for the magnesium to absorb?
So mineral balance is really important, and that's where you brought up Quinton previously, and I'd like to bring us back to that because our bodies, the mineral solution that we have in our bodies, our plasma, is identical. Renee Quinton discovered that our blood plasma is identical to the plasma in the ocean. The ocean's plasma contains 78 trace elements in perfect balance, like according to what is mirrored in our own blood plasma, or should be. And I say should because a lot of us are missing a lot of the minerals that we need because of the conventional farming, our stress levels. We're not replenishing the minerals we need. So some of us are missing some very essential minerals, some of these trace elements. And it's trace because it's not like we need a lot, but if we're missing them, even though they're trace, they can significantly affect our epigenetic potential, our health, our immune system, the osmotic balance of our hydration levels. So it's really important. And I don't like to mess with minerals by just saying, oh, I need this or that, unless you're really testing yourself, which is hard to test. Unless you take like a skin test, it's really hard to know exactly where your mineral levels are. And you're not going to be wanting to take skin samples very often. So I say Quinton's the best way to go because it's already balanced by nature. The blood plasma, our mother, the amniotic fluid that we're bathed in, this is similar, that type of solution. And so we evolved from the ocean, and we need these 78 trace elements. And when we have these in perfect balance, then healing begins to happen. Biogenesis starts to take place. And so I really suggest, and I'm a high advocate of Quinton minerals because it's already cold processed. Not only do you get the chemistry of the minerals, but it's taken from this vortex plankton bloom, which has all of this bioenergetic information in it that is sending a signal to your cells for healing and for life. It's living frequencies that are
Now,
coherent.
could you take too much Quinton hypertonic?
Yeah, I mean, you probably could overdo it. I think your body would know though, like, hey, you're not going to get sick or anything.
Okay.
You might feel a little thirsty, like, oh, okay, that was a lot.
So I have a big 1 liter bottle of the Quinton hypertonic. I know they have the little vials, but I have one of those big 1 liter, and I just take a teaspoon or a tablespoon 3 times a day.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. Is that correct?
The hypertonic is like the vitamin. Think of it as the vitamin. That one's the undiluted solution that's very salty, very bright. Yep. That one is like taking your vitamins every day. And also, it's something that you can put in your water to help structure the water and help the water so that it's able to do what it needs to do in your body and hydrate your cells and get into the cells. The isotonic is it's a diluted version that is exactly in that same proportion as our blood plasma. So you could actually inject it into your body. Not suggesting this. I'm not an MD, not giving any health advice, but
I've had it injected before.
Yeah. So, and you can get that in Mexico. You can get it in France. They don't do it in America, but it is something you can do. So like, say you go to the doctor and you get some saline solution. This is like the ultimate saline solution. You get it into your system and it's like ultimate hydration. It's too bad that they don't allow it in the US, but I inject it into myself. I'll put it in a needle, a syringe, and I'll inject it into my scar tissue to help with that.
Okay.
It helps
kind of like subcutaneously.
Yeah, because scar tissue is just tissue that's deficient. It's not getting the nutrition it needs. There's not that energetic flow. There's blockages in the energy field, and there's also lack of nutrition. So if I'm bringing that nutrition into it, I know that it's going to help with the healing, and it has. So I really like that, and also getting an IV of it. But you don't have to do that. You can open up a vial, put it in your mouth, swish it around for a minute, and then it's sending a signal to all of your cells, because your epithelial tissue is one cell thick. So it's like getting in, it's penetrating, it's going into your mouth, under your tongue, sublingually, and it's sending a message to all of your cells that you have the building blocks for life that you need for biogenesis, to build new cells, that epigenetic upgrade that we need. Because a lot of times, as our cells are turning over and we're making new cells, we need these building blocks to make healthy new cells. And when we're making these new cells, if we have the building blocks for biogenesis, we're going to make healthy new cells. So I really am an advocate of Quinton. I'm not invested in the company or anything, but I wish I was, because I mean, it's like my desert island product. If I could only take one thing to a desert island, you would think, oh, well, you might be like surrounded by seawater. Why would you take Quinton? But I would take the isotonic, because
Not the hypertonic.
if I was stranded on a desert island, I would not take the hypertonic. I would take the isotonic. Yeah.
You'd have an unlimited supply though. So, I mean, I guess the reason why I take the hypertonic is because it's just a more potent form of the isotonic. So that seems better to me. I don't know.
That's what most people think, but actually,
Yeah.
the stronger one is the diluted one. The one that has the more power and can really upgrade your cells is the isotonic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So if I put the hypertonic in my water, will that make it more like the isotonic?
No, not necessarily. No, it's not going to turn it into, because it needs to be this exact proportions, and I wouldn't try to do that. I would just get the isotonic.
Okay, so I'm taking the hypertonic 3 times a day, but your recommendation is that I take the isotonic instead of the hypertonic.
I think both are great. I take both.
You take both?
But for different reasons.
Okay.
So remember, the hypertonic is something that we want to take, like, say you sweat, like I went to hot yoga and I've just like released a bunch of minerals and stuff. I'm going to take that hypertonic to get the minerals back in my body, reset everything. The isotonic I take just so I can stay healthy throughout the years, so that my genes are healthy and my epigenetic potential is upgraded, and I have all the information, that bioenergetic information that I need to live a healthy life.
So, okay, do you have an opinion then on taking electrolytes like Noon or even just Himalayan pink salt or one of the other electrolyte tablets or additives to water? What's your opinion? Does that help? Does it help a little bit?
I make my own electrolytes. I get this salt. You got to be careful with salts. I mean, salts are great, but some salts can have a lot of like lead or, things in them. So I find a salt that has a good COA, that that's clean and unfiltered, and every day I'll get a liter of water. I'll put a half a teaspoon of salt in my water. And you can also put like a little bit of honey if you want, or lemon, and you can add that. And that's amazing. You don't need to buy these electrolyte packets. I mean, God's electrolyte is the sea, the ocean, and then I add, other things that I want to make my own, like a Gatorade or something, but like God's Gatorade. I say God's Gatorade when I add like salt, lemon, and raw honey, and you shake that up and you're like golden, like especially for a sports drink or something like
And
that.
you don't have to drink as much and you'll feel more satisfied.
Yeah, it depends on the person and what they need. What I would say helps your body not have to drink as much water is when you structure the water. Then we're going into a whole new thing. But when I drink structured water, typically I notice I drink about a third less water when I structure my water.
And so what does it mean? Like, can you give us instructions or tips on how to structure your water?
Yeah, there's different ways that you can structure the water. And this is a big word now that a lot of people are talking about. And I think it's overused in a lot of ways, where there's different ways to structure the water and there's different potential for it. But you can simply start to structure your water by taking incoherent distilled water, for example, and adding salt, minerals to it, and then putting it in the refrigerator in a cold, dark space, and it will start to structure a little bit. Now, how strong those bonds are and how coherent that is and the information that it has, we're still learning, and we still want to understand that better. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I know exactly, because it's something that there's still so much research that we have to open up to. But what I do notice is that we test these different ways to structure water, and there's certain apparatuses that I feel negatively charge the water, and we can test for this and see that the water is negatively charged. It is indeed structured. And when I drink it, I need far less water. So there's ways that we're testing the water and seeing how it is. But I think the biggest thing is testing it on humans, because we can test it outside of the body, but when you test it inside of the body, what exactly does this do? And this is where the next level of research, I think, needs to go, is not just testing the water outside of our bodies, but really doing trials, clinical trials on actual patients and seeing what type of water is really upgrading their health.
And we've already talked about this a little bit, what are the top misconceptions about hydration?
There's so many misconceptions, but we would start with the first one, which is if you drink more water, you're going to be more hydrated. That's just not true. Also, clean water is better. I mean, you go with the smart water, not so smart. It's just filtered tap water. So it's incoherent. It has no structure to it, or it's an incoherent type of molecular structure that is sending your body information that is dissonant. We want coherence, because our bodies aren't just chemical. We're not just chemistry. There's a bioenergetic field around us. We have a morphogenetic field. We're energy bodies, and the energy and the information that we're putting into our body is just as important, if not more important, than the chemistry of the water. So we've been misinformed, or I wouldn't say misinformed, we haven't been given the whole story, the whole picture, that clean water isn't the only thing we want to look for. So when you go to the grocery store, you don't want to just look and say, oh, smart water, that's distilled, that's a really good water. No, it's not. It's only part of the story. It's the beginning. They've broken the water down, but now we need to build the water back up, or we get to build the water back up. So we're breaking it down by taking out the caustic, toxic chemistry in the water, the things that we don't want. But now we get to augment the water and bring in this coherence and this information into the water and structure the water so that when we drink it, it can actually penetrate into the cells and provide a high level of hydration for our bodies. So nature already does this. That's why I look for spring water. So if you have the choice between filtered tap water, or it just says filtered, it's not going to say filtered tap most of the time, it'll just say filtered. If you can do filtered or spring, always go for the spring. The spring water by nature is picking up minerals. It's vortexing, it's moving and spinning in nature. It's getting that information inside of it, and it's going to be a lot healthier. Now, there's other steps, like sometimes before it gets to you, it's being scanned and it's treated sometimes, and there's things that happen to it. That's not ideal. And being put in a plastic bottle, those things aren't ideal, but it's better than just drinking filtered, incoherent tap water.
What happens when someone drinks a bunch of filtered, incoherent tap water?
Most of the time, that water just kind of flows through you. I mean, you're getting into your cells, but it's not efficient. So you're going to pee a lot because it's just going in with, we're like a tube. It's going in.
It's going right through, right?
It's like just flowing through, and it's not efficiently hydrating the cells. So we've got that. And then the next thing is that it's not coherent. So the message that it's sending your cells, everything that we put in our body is sending our cells a message. So what kind of message is it sending to the body of water that I am? My body of water is being influenced by the water I'm drinking, and my body is also influencing the water that I'm drinking. It's a constant communication. Every single hydrophilic surface in my body is taking the water all the time and structuring it. So when I drink incoherent, non-structured water, my body will structure it. Our bodies are so smart. They know what to do, and they're constantly making structured water. But that's taking energy from my body. My mitochondria have to work, my cells have to work hard to structure this water. And so it's taking energy from other things. Like if you want to be healthy, you want to have like long, luscious hair and great skin, well, energy, your body has to send energy to certain places to do things. And if you want to conserve energy for all of those things, like building muscle and having more energy and all those things, then we might want to look at drinking structured water so that our bodies can work more efficiently and we don't have to use that energy to structure it.
How does chronic dehydration impact longevity?
Chronic dehydration severely impacts longevity because we are a body of water and aging is just a slow dehydration process. So if you want to age better, you want to have juicier joints, you want to sleep better, you want to have a higher libido, you want to have more energy, you want your skin to be glowy, you want all of those things, then hydration is going to be a key factor in that. And any level of dehydration, we're constantly dehydrating all the time. So it's important to be focused on hydrating all of the time. This is something that it's my life goal, but I'm constantly like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling dehydrated. I need to balance this out. Or I just had this matcha tea and now I feel super dehydrated. Or I'm on this road trip and I was driving in the car and I'm like, all this light is coming in from the windows and it's like being bent and refracted and it's like this unhealthy light, because I'm not in the natural light, I'm in the car and it's dehydrating my cells. And so just something we want to think about is, oh, I might need to drink more water today, or I get to drink more water and all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the 9 pillars of health.
Okay, so you want me to go through all of them?
You can go through your favorites, or you can go through all 9, or you can
Or I can what?
expand on the ones you think you should expand on the ones that you think would be valuable for people to hear about.
Okay, so I came up with the 9 pillars of health because I started to think about my life, and owning a functional medicine clinic for 16 years, what I realized is a lot of our patients were coming in and they're like, have these severe things going on, cancer, fibromyalgia, whatever it is. And they're getting all these blood tests, taking all these pills, doing all these crazy programs when they weren't doing the basics. And so I started to experiment and just take my patients back to the basics. I'm like, look, we need to go back to the basics of, are you getting enough sunlight? Or are you getting this toxic light indoors? Are you getting the right amount of nutrition? Are you getting hydration? Are you getting sleep? Are you getting the minerals that you need? Are you connected in a loving community? This is huge. A lot of people don't even think this is such a huge part of health. Are you connected? We are so disconnected in our world. We think, oh, we're connected by social media, but are you getting hugs? Are you loved? Are you able to look at someone's eyes and gaze into their eyes and know that you matter? That's a big part of health and hydration too. Grounding, taking your shoes off and connecting to the earth. We are electrical beings, and so the way we can charge ourselves, one of the ways, is to connect with the earth's surface. And so I started to ask my patients these questions and go through, and a lot of them were missing some of these basic pillars to health. And so that's why I really advocate them, because I believe that a lot of people think in order to be optimally healthy, you need to be rich. Well, no, we don't need to be rich to go out and get the sun. We don't need to be rich to take our shoes off. It doesn't take money to do that. And so I wanted to go back to the basics that every single person could relate to and every person could thrive from. And some of my wealthiest clients who could buy any type of machine or any type of program, I just took them back to those basics, and they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, my life is forever changed. And so that's when I realized, wow, there's something really powerful to these 9 pillars that I wasn't even doing when I was younger, and I didn't know about them. I knew some of them, but I didn't know that. Yesterday, my friend and I went forest bathing. We went into the forest and we hiked, but we took our shoes off
Yeah.
for an hour. We're just like, I don't want to have this rubber sole here so that I can't connect to the earth. And my inflammation and everything in my body, my brain became clear. Everything was amazing. And then there was this cold running water, a creek. And we went and jumped into the cold water. And it's like this living water that's moving, cleansed us and brought us back to life, moved our lymphatic system. These are things that are accessible to all of us, but we just forget about them sometimes, and we think, oh, that might be uncomfortable, or I might not want to do that. But this is where the real medicine is.
Well, I think we live in a world where everybody wants to be, they want the dopamine rush of the internet, of Instagram, of TikTok. So people are so disconnected to themselves and to other people, and they just jump into the chaos of the world. And
Yeah.
and that's that. I mean, I see it constantly. I mean, people around me, people that I'm very close to, I see it. I'm like, man, and I'm just scratching my head going, geez, that's crazy for someone to not be able to leave their phone alone for more than like 7 minutes. I
Right.
mean, like, seriously, it's crazy, but it makes sense that, I mean, because for me, it's like breath work, prayer, meditation, journaling, reading, writing, spending time by myself, quiet with my dog. And that's the best part of my day when I get started every single morning without looking at my phone, without responding to emails, without responding to text messages. And that's right in line with all of the things that you're talking about.
Yeah. And we can all do it. And that's what's
Yeah.
exciting. That's what really gets me excited, because when I first started my clinic, it was like we were, giving all these vitamins and have this doctors prescribing all of these like programs and things, and it's expensive and it takes a lot of effort. And my
Mhm.
heart broke because I thought, is can only certain people be healthy, because not everyone can afford this.
Right.
And I didn't like that, because that's not the way it should be, and I know that's not the way God intended it. So I'm like, there's got to be another answer. And when I started just going back to the basics, I noticed that that worked far better than
Yeah.
all of the supplements and all those things. Because, like we talked about in the beginning, if your cells are not able to, they don't have that osmotic balance and that flow, it doesn't matter what vitamins you're taking, it doesn't matter what food you're eating, it doesn't matter how good you're doing things, how healthy you think you are, if your cells can't get in the nutrition and they can't get the toxins out. So
Right.
these 9 pillars of health help to optimize the cells so that the cells can work for you. So that if you want to spend more money and take those amazing vitamins and you want to do those peptides and all those extra fancy bells and whistles, it's going to work more optimally for you. And the money that you're spending will actually show some return, some reward there.
Is there a place someone can go and read more about the 9 pillars of health?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that. I just wrote a book on it,
Okay.
and it's called Hydrate. And if they go to my website at tracyduhs.com, they can pre-order the book. It's coming out in a couple weeks, and we'll send it to them, and they can get on my mailing list. And I talk about a lot of these things. And also they can go to my Instagram, where I have the 9 pillars of health laid out. I talk about them, and I really make it applicable for people in a fun way.
And Duhs is spelled like duh, but
Yeah.
Duhs. Have you heard of Shilajit or Shilajit? I don't know if I'm
Oh
saying it
yeah.
correctly.
I just had some for breakfast this morning.
Okay,
And
so what are your thoughts on Shilajit?
oh, I think it's amazing for detoxification, minerals. It's something to definitely play with. You want to make sure you have a good source.
Hmm.
But I don't say start there. Start with the 9 pillars. Start there, and then you
Hmm.
can add these things in and stack them. But yes, I do love Shilajit, and I think that it has its place when your body has all its detox pathways open, which would be a lot of the main pathways are like skin. You're sweating every day. You're having a really healthy bowel movement multiple times a day. Your liver is healthy. Your detox pathways are healthy. Then we can start bringing in more detoxification products. But if your detox pathways are not healthy and open, those channels aren't open, then people can have some more Herxheimer kind of issues where they feel sick or nauseous or get skin rashes if they start with that. So I don't like to start people with that, especially someone on your show who's maybe dealing with addiction recovery and they may have a higher level of toxicity in their body.
Mhm.
I personally wouldn't say to start there.
Is it okay if I've already started there? Is it okay for me to put it in my coffee? Does it matter how I take the Shilajit?
No, I don't think so. I think it's fine to put in your coffee. I make it in elixirs. I'll make like a hot chocolate elixir and put it in. It's very earthy. I
Yeah.
like the taste of it.
Okay. What are some top tips for people to get started? Just like maybe your 3 top tips for people.
Top tips are change your water from filtered to spring water, number 1.
Okay.
2, focus on observing your mindset because our mindset is a huge part of if we're having negative programming or negative self-talk, that is draining our body of all of its energy sources. And that energy is what we need to stay hydrated and healthy. And so really, really going into observing your thoughts like, wow, that's interesting. When you get triggered or you're feeling something or you feel like you're going in a downward spiral, really just get compassionate and start to ask questions. Ask the questions instead of shaming or blaming ourselves. And then the third thing I would say is really find community, connected, loving community, people that can support you, that love you, that you can play with, that you can build with, that you can grow with, and that you have purpose. Those, to me, if you had to pick 3 things, I would say I'd start with those.
Okay. Pick spring water over filtered water, and then community, find your community, and then mindfulness, being aware. And I love that you said awareness because I see so many people that are so unaware. It's on my gratitude. I do a gratitude list every day, and I'm so grateful for the awareness I have because a lot of people are so disconnected that they're just unaware of how they're feeling internally and other people. I'm like scratching my head going, this person has no awareness. And so I think being aware is healthy. It feels good to be aware. And actually, when you said exploring and awareness, remember when, I don't know if you remember when Gabor Mate said, it's a good thing you're being triggered because that gives you the opportunity to explore.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I 100% resonate with what he said.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Dig
a lot of
deeper.
times we look at triggering as a negative thing, and it's really an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. Yeah, I
Mhm.
love that he said that. I love that
Mhm.
he said that.
Yeah.
Is there a question that you wanted me to ask you today that I didn't ask?
I don't think so. You had great questions. They were amazing, and I hope that everyone listening got some benefit from that or some little nugget that they can take to upgrade their lives.
Yeah, this was great. I got a lot out of it. I do these episodes or these interviews because I want to learn.
Yeah.
And by me learning, other people get to learn as well. So I got one last question for you. Tell me about your morning routine.
Oh man, it's so long, Tim. I really do have a long morning routine. It is in my book. I go through all of it, but I usually start with waking up and talking to God and asking for inviting the divine into my day
Mhm.
and saying, I invite you in and I want you to go before me and guide me. And I want to be led with love. And my purpose today is to receive and give love. And then I get up and I usually oil pull. I'll oil pull for about 15 minutes. And then once I spit that out, I'll do my Quinton Isotonic. And then I'll juice celery juice. And then I'll drink 32 ounces of water with a half a teaspoon of sea salt. And then I'll go drain my lymphatic system. I have like a lymph board that I use. And then I go in my cold plunge, my Morosco Forge cold plunge for 3 to 6 minutes, get out, take a warm shower, and then get ready and get on with my day. And then I usually don't work out till the afternoon because that's when I have the highest amount of energy. But yeah, that's part of my morning routine.
It sounds like a great start to the day. I know there's so many people out there that they hit snooze 5 times and then they run out the door to their first meeting and get the day started. And for me, I've learned to take a morning routine like you, and it's like it's the best thing I do. It's the best
Yeah,
thing I do.
yes, agreed.
Okay, that does it for our time with Tracy Duhs. And before we end this episode, I want you to go to the reviews section on iTunes or comment section of YouTube. Type in the one thing that resonated with you. Every comment counts, and what you share could resonate with someone else that is struggling and potentially save their life. So go ahead and go to the review section and share the one thing that resonated with you. It'll take just 60 seconds out of your day, but what you share could not only save you, but it could also save someone's life. Okay, that does it for the week. I'm Tim Westbrook. I hope that our paths cross again in the next episode of I Love Being Sober. Tracy Duhs, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate you. I got a lot out of it, and that's all I got. If you found this video to be of value, be sure to like it, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos, leave a comment if you have a question, if you've got something to say. Camelback Recovery provides treatment services for people struggling with mental health, mental illness, addiction, alcoholism. So if you or someone you know is struggling, be sure to reach out to us. You can go to our website, camelbackrecovery.com, or our information is in the comments section below. And we provide everything from detox, inpatient, outpatient treatment, sober living, recovery coaching, sober companion services. So either we'll be able to help you or we'll be able to refer you to people or treatment centers that might be a better fit. So I will see you in the next video.